This season, the Southern League Premier Division Central promises to be one of the most competitive leagues in the country. So much so that I'm going to be visiting all 22 grounds and ranking them out of 40 points based on a number of factors which I'll go into more detail about later in this video. So far, I've visited 10 of the 22, with Worcester City's impressive Six-Ways Stadium leading the way with 33 points, and the Grove at Halesoe in town just behind them with 30.5. How would ground number 11 compare to the other 10? Well, to find out, I made the short trip over to Lincolnshire.
I've arrived at the 11th ground in my Southern League Premier Division Central series. It is the Zeeco Stadium, home of Stamford, and their opponents are a very familiar name to this channel, as you would have seen them in my last episode. It's Worcester City. So we've got Stamford bottom of the table, probably in a bit of a false position, as everyone I speak to says they look a lot better than the league table suggests. They've managed one win, which was away at Stourbridge a few weeks ago, against 16th placed Worcester City. Anytime now Stamford are going to start picking up points. I can't see them finishing bottom of the table, but if they don't start picking up points soon, they will get left behind, as the bottom four are starting to fall away. So not sure what's going to happen today. After seeing Worcester City on Saturday, they looked good, wasteful in front of goal, but they looked good. I think Stamford are starting to pick up. I'm going to go for a draw here today. I think we'll see a lot of goals. I think it'll be 2-2. So let me know in the comments if you've been to the Zeeco Stadium, and enjoy the matchday vlog.
Stamford's Zeeco Stadium has a capacity of 2,000 with 250 seats in its main stand and a small covered terrace behind the goal closest to the clubhouse, with the rest of the stadium being open standing room. Stamford moved to their home at New College Stamford, just outside the town itself, back in 2014, after their Hanson's Field was redeveloped for housing, ending their 118-year stay at their old home. And Stamford's third season in the Southern League Premier Division Central isn't going that well. After being predicted to finish in or around the playoff places, they've gotten off to a very poor start to the season, with just one win in the league seeing them sitting right at the bottom of the table after 14 games. Though I do keep hearing that they'll be okay, as they just haven't had the luck. There is a bit of a gap opening up now though, so they'll need to start getting results soon or they'll be left with too much catching up to do. So a game against 16th placed Worcester City was a great place to start. Though Worcester were on a 4-game unbeaten run in the league going into this one. I spoke to Stamford manager Graham Drury to give his thoughts ahead of Tuesday night's game.
I'm joined by Stamford manager Graham Drury. Firstly, congratulations on 10 years at Stamford. 10 years today, I believe.
10 years today.
Ahead of Stamford against Worcester City. What are your thoughts going into today's game?
3 points is a must. We're in a position where we didn't expect to be. We're playing good enough football not to be, but the bottom line is we're not scoring goals. So tonight we need to stick them in the back of the net, and 3 points is a must.
I've spoken to numerous other managers this season, and every time Stamford comes up, they're all saying they're way better than the league position suggests. I spoke to Jimmy at Barwell, who couldn't believe Stamford's league position. So what is it? Is it a case of lacking putting the ball in the net? What's the problem this season?
It's just not been putting it in the back of the net. You know, the build-up play is good. We've been pretty strong. We kept quite a few clean sheets this year, but when we have conceded, I think the confidence in the dressing room's been, we're going to score. You know, and I think we perhaps rushed to try and score and then open ourselves up, and we're getting caught again. So we've got to now concentrate on being resilient again at the back, and then take some of these chances we're creating, because we played third in the league, well, Bedford, and if it was 105 minutes played, I think 70 minutes was total Stamford. We created a lot of chances, very dangerous. And if we'd come in at 3-0 at half time, I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelid, but we ended up being 3-0 down. So, credit to them. They took their chances, and second half, I said to the boys, try and win the game, win the second half, and they went on and did that. Scored another goal, they give it a foul on the keeper. Maybe if that had changed, we might have got something from the game, but it certainly ain't from the lack of trying. The lads are giving me everything. We've just not been potent in front of goal, and tonight we start with Norkit up front from Boston instead of Fletch Toll, and we're hoping that his movement might just create other pockets for other players to get in and score goals, or score goals himself, hopefully.
And obviously it took quite a while to get that first win, but how important was that win at Stourbridge the other week?
Well, what it did was it's obviously first and foremost, it's the most important thing winning games of football, whether it's your first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. It's all about winning games. But what it's done for me is there's no excuses like, oh, we've got to win this first game. It'll lift a big cloud from the club and it will do this and it will do that. It will do wonders. But it didn't Saturday. You know, we didn't back it up. We need to back it up tonight. And if we take 6 out of 9, that wouldn't be a bad return in the position we're in. It'll take us 2 places off the bottom, which is always important for morale and confidence and everything. And you know, we've got to look to try and build on that good performance at Stourbridge and an exceptional performance, apart from the 3 goals against Royal Bedford.
And this is a very tough league as well, very competitive league. We've seen it throughout the season that anyone can beat anyone. What can you expect from Worcester City today?
Tough, big, strong side, score a lot of set plays. We've got to try and, you know, affect them so they don't get too many set plays. We've got to try and defend the box well and not get silly free kicks and corners away. And then I've got to hope our energy and our team can overrun theirs. But they've had a real good run of form recently, you know, and the 1-1 draw with Hastings, you know, no mean feat. They're a good side. And then obviously 6 past Sudbury, confidence is quite high. So we've got to obviously, you know, try and dent that tonight and obviously be on the front foot and take the games to them.
Thanks for coming on, Graham. Really appreciate it. All the best today and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Do you know why Stamford are nicknamed the Daniels? Let me know in the comments if you do, but otherwise I'll be revealing it later on in this video. Before the kick-off, I checked out the clubhouse, which overlooks the rest of the stadium, and had my usual cheeseburger and chips, which was disappointing. The chips were good, and a decent sized portion, but the burger was dry and it tasted like it had been reheated. Plus, with only 1 food kiosk on site, there was a bit of a wait for it. I just want to give a quick shout out to Mullered Sports, who I finally got to meet at the Zeeco Stadium. I'll put his link in the description under this video so you can go and check out his channel. He'll be making a vlog on this game too, so go give him a follow. With the rain starting to come down, I took my place in the terracing behind the goal, which had a good mix of home and away fans. And it's Stamford in red with Worcester City in white. As Graham Drury said in his pre-match interview, Stamford aren't clinical enough in front of goal, and then they get punished. And it was as if he was reading this game from a script.
Here they come. Still got it.
Half-time, Stamford 0, Worcester City 1. And just like Graham Drury said in his pre-match interview, Stamford missed several decent chances before being punished. They were so unlucky to go in at half-time 1-0 down, but when you're at the bottom of the table, you just don't seem to have luck on your side. Could they turn it around in the second half? What a strike that is! Kyle Belmonte saw the keeper off his line and went for it. It's a lovely finish, but Stamford guilty of creating their own problems as they gave the ball away cheaply in the build-up. Another great strike sees Worcester City in total control and Stamford in danger of being on the end of a heavy scoreline. Final score, Stamford 0, Worcester City 3, and another frustrating night for the home side, who wasted chances in the first half before being punished. That second half wasn't great though, and Stamford are going to have a really hard time staying up if they keep putting in performances like that.
James, second time on my channel. We've just watched Worcester City win 3-0 at Stamford. What was your assessment of that game?
I thought Stamford played really well first half. I think they're so unlucky to not go in to half-time 1-0 with that really good cross into the box, and it bounces off the inside of the crossbar. So I thought they could have maybe done something there. And then after that, I don't know. I think it's just after the 60th minute they just lapsed in concentration or something happened. They made a sub, their first sub anyway, and then they brought on three straight after that. And I think maybe that first sub just rattled, like the shape changed. It didn't really seem like they were doing anything. The fans, I was in an opposite end to you, where the Stamford fans were, and they were not happy with the referee and the linesman decisions, and also the team how they were playing. So I think it's that, and then they scored two more with a really good goal, Worcester chipping over the keeper. But yeah, I don't think they did that well, Stamford, sadly, after that.
Yeah, and you chose to stand in the rain. I can see by your hair. Like, I'm just going to can see that I'm perfectly dry. But James, you decided to stand in the rain most of the second half, hoping to see a Stamford goal, and you must have not seen that much action down there.
I saw about 4 bits of play down that end, and it was great. Don't get me wrong. It was nice to see with the Stamford fans what they thought right near the goal, but it wasn't great. And the Stamford fans were restless. And when the third went in, about 7 of the 15 down there all just left and said, "We're going home. That's it." Not very good performance today. But it was nice though to see that the fans were having a bit of banter between each other. So yeah.
It's a really friendly club here. I'm really impressed with how friendly the fans are. We've just had a chat with a few Stamford fans in the bar. One important question though, do you think Stamford can stay up this season, or are they in trouble?
If they play like they do in the first 60 minutes today, yes, 100%. I think they can stay up. I think they can just get the place above the relegation zone, I think, for the end of the season. But if they play like they did in the last 30 minutes for most of the season, no, I don't see them staying up. As we talked to a couple of fans, they say if they go down, they don't want them to, but it might be better to go down, rebuild, go into league this season that Carlton are in, and Bourne nearby here, and then rebuild to go to the next league above, to get back to this league, to then maybe push to get to National League North.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they play like they did for the second half today, they're probably in trouble, but I still have a feeling they're going to stay up.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on again, James.
That's all right.
Just got back from the Zeeco Stadium. Final score, Stamford 0, Worcester City 3. Very disappointing one, I think, for Stamford. I spoke to a few fans in the clubhouse after, and they were saying it's going to be a very long season. I did speak to Graham Drury, as you would have just seen in the vlog, and I've got faith in the man, to be honest. I think he'll keep Stamford up. Of course, it wasn't meant to be a relegation fight for Stamford. It was supposed to be a push for the playoffs, like they were close to the playoffs last season. And if they play like they did for the first hour or so, probably the first half against Worcester City, then they'll be okay. But they really do just need someone to put the ball in the net. Graham did say beforehand, they create chances, they don't put the ball in the net, and they get punished. And then that's exactly what we saw. Stamford had the better of the chances in the first half and then didn't take them. They were very close. There's one that hit the post, a couple that flew over, and then Worcester City punished them, took the lead just before half-time, I think it was. 1-0 at half-time. Second half, I didn't think Stamford were that good. They made a few substitutions about 15 minutes into the second half, and I just think maybe the substitutes weren't that organised, because as soon as the subs came on, they conceded a second. Shortly after that, it was a third, and that's game over. And really, Worcester City could have had a few more at the end there, so it really wasn't the best performance from Stamford. That being said, I think they will stay up. I do have faith that they'll stay up. I know that sounds silly at this stage in the season when they've only managed one win and we're coming towards the middle of November. But yeah, I think Stamford will stay up. And I just need to comment, what a great stadium the Zeeco Stadium is. I really enjoyed it tonight. Very friendly club again. Also, it's nice to catch up with Steve Good, the Worcester City chairman, again, after obviously I was at Six Ways on Saturday, so you would have just seen my Worcester City vlog come out. Worcester, of course, feature for the fourth time on this series. So let me know if you were at that game on Tuesday night, and what about these rankings? Before I jump into these rankings, let's take a look at the league standings after Tuesday night's games. And Stamford are still rooted to the bottom of the table after that defeat. Worcester City's impressive run of form of late sees them jump up to 11th, and can they start dreaming of a playoff place? Their form is certainly good. Fun fact, to answer the question I asked at the start of this video, Stamford are nicknamed the Daniels after Daniel Lambert, who's the heaviest man in British history at 52 stone 11. He died in 1809 at the age of 39 and is buried in St Martin's Churchyard in Stamford, so the club are called the Daniels in his memory. Where does the Zeeco Stadium rank amongst the previous 10 stadiums then? I'm ranking each stadium out of 5 points for their atmosphere, playing surface, food, facilities, view and accessibility, with a further 10 points on offer for my experience overall, meaning there's a total of 40 points on offer. And looking at the previous league table, it's Worcester City's Six Ways sitting at the top with 33 points. Let's start with the atmosphere then, and while the attendance was only 306, there was quite a lot of noise coming from the terracing, with small groups of both sets of supporters engaging in friendly banter. Stamford aren't going to challenge the likes of Hales Owen atmosphere-wise, but they aren't going to be the worst in the league by a long shot either. 3 out of 5. What about the playing surface? Well, after seeing so many artificial pitches in this league, it was refreshing to see Tuesday night's game played on grass. And with the atrocious weather, I really got to see how well the pitch held up. And they must have a decent groundsman, as while there were a few incidents of players slipping, the playing surface held up well in the rain, so it gets a 3.5. Food-wise, I wasn't massively impressed. My cheeseburger tasted like it had been reheated and the bun was dry, but the fries were very good and the portion was generous. So far, Stamford scores towards the bottom end based on the food, but I feel like the fries brought up their score a little, so they get 2.5 out of 5. In terms of the facilities, Stamford scores well, with the main clubhouse overlooking the pitch offering a lot of space to enjoy a pre- or post-match drink, as well as food and drink kiosks pitchside. One small issue with the Zeeco Stadium is that from what I could see, there is only one food kiosk on site, meaning that you'll have to wait quite a long time for your food if there's a queue, and as I mentioned earlier, my food wasn't really worth the wait. Stamford get a 3.5 out of 5 for their facilities. What about the view? Well, I feel like the Zeeco Stadium offers a decent view of the playing surface from pretty much everywhere you choose to sit or stand. The main stand and terracing both offer an unobstructed view of the pitch while still feeling like you're close to the action, and there's plenty of standing room around the ground. The Zeeco Stadium offers a great view of the action, so they're getting a 4 out of 5 here. What about accessibility? Well, I'm not just talking about disabled access, but how easy these stadiums are to get to and move around in while you're there, and the Zeeco scores highly here too. With a decent sized car park on site, you don't have to worry too much about parking, though when I arrived it was difficult to get a space with the health club next door running exercise classes. The stadium itself is just outside Stamford and off the main road, so it's easy to get to by car. And in terms of disabled access, the Zeeco has allocated seating, with wheelchair ramps making it one of the better stadiums in this department. I do feel Stamford fall just short of Spalding in this area, so I'm giving them a 4 out of 5. The last section is arguably the most important as it's worth 10 points, and it's my experience overall. And I'm basing this section on my thoughts on the stadium, how friendly the clubs are and the game itself. And Stamford is certainly one of the friendlier clubs on this list. Before the game I was greeted by a number of fans and given an interview with Graham Drury, and after the game I had a drink with a couple more fans, so they're certainly happy to welcome you to their club. Stadium-wise, I was impressed with the Zeeco, and the game itself wasn't the worst despite the heavy scoreline. Stamford get a solid 7 out of 10 for my overall matchday experience. So where does that leave the Zeeco Stadium? Well, Stamford scored a total of 27.5 out of 40, meaning they're sitting in the middle of the table in 6th. I did actually prefer the Zeeco Stadium to the Sir Halley Stewart overall, but I have to be honest with my rankings, and Spalding United scored higher in a few more of the areas. So, Worcester City hold their lead, and can anyone challenge Six Ways for this top spot? It's another quick turnaround for me this week, as the next episode in this series comes from Westwood Road, home of St Ives Town, as they take on Needham Market. There might be another matchday vlog before that though, as if the weather allows it, two of my favourite teams go head to head in the Nottinghamshire Senior Cup at the RM Stadium tonight, as Holders Hucknall Town take on Carlton Town. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you enjoyed this video, and why not check out the rest of the series, which you can see on screen right now. Do, 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 do.